father is a narcissist who keeps creating family drama. I want to rat him out to his new family.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Practice family exposed. Sorry if this is really long, but it is a lot to unload. I didn't really know what option to post this under, so I'm just doing it as family drama.
Love the tea.
Love the tea. When I was very young and even in high school, I thought my dad was wonderful and that I couldn't ask for a better dad. It is only now looking back that I realize he was a huge narcissist and a-hole, and my dad actually was and still is. By the way, this comes from Grace9525 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So all the ages listed below are the current ages and names have been changed. So my dad's currently 67. Here's a list of the short synopsis of things for context that he did when we were younger, and then we will get into things that have happened in the last 5 years. So he would tell my aunts, Ruth, female 65, and Minna, female 57, that one had said something about the other and turned them against each other, and they would constantly fight about things that had never even happened, but that my dad had just told them both that had happened. I remember the Christmas after both my great-grandmothers. One lived to be 100 and the other to 103. Well, good news, OP, you're going to live for a long time. Bad news is your family drama is going to last a century. They passed away and they got into a fight so bad that my grandma came into the room I was in and she was crying horribly and asked why they couldn't just get along. Oh, I didn't know what to tell her as I was only 17 at the time. He would also abuse towards my Aunt Ruth, both mentally and physically at times. One time he tried to punch her in high school and ended up punching through a window when she ducked. Oh my God. Jeez. We also found out that he had been telling my mom and us kids similar things about his family and them about us. Again, kind of like the turning people on each other vibe that he's on.
Yeah. Manipulating everyone.
Manipulative, thus making us all feel uncomfortable around each other, and sometimes causing my mom to think that my aunts and grandma hated her. After the conversation,
I hate people that do that, where it's like, did you hear what your grandma said about you? Did you hear? It's pretty terrible.
And it's all lies.
I didn't want to tell you. You know, I don't like to stir up trouble, but you know, I feel like it was my God-given duty to let you know the truth.
I love stirring up trouble.
Yeah, that's what I think about it. They're glassy eyes.
This isn't really a conspiracy theory, but he's turning everyone against each other so he can get away with the dirty deeds he's doing.
Yeah, no, pretty whack.
Pay attention. So after the conversation where we figured all of this out and my grandma cut him off, so basically found out what he was doing, my grandma told my mom that she was my grandparents' child more than he was. He's like, yo, your wife? That's more my kid than you. You ain't my kid. I gave birth to you, but you ain't my kid.
Oh my God. Big yikes, dude.
Big freaking yikes.
Big yikes.
Now, while my siblings and I were growing up, me, female 41, sister, female 38, and brother, male 32, he repeatedly told my brother that he was not wanted as, quote, I wanted to divorce your mother after your second sister was born, but was talked into waiting and then into trying one more time for a boy because I needed someone to carry on the family name. And then there's that BS.
Jesus.
So you are only here because I was forced into it.
Jesus.
You tell your son that?
Oh my God.
Dude.
Oh my God.
You're just wishing for a villain. That literally.
His villain arc is really going terribly. Also, Kimberly Fine, Granny's a real one. That's true. Granny knew what time it was. She cut him off for a good reason. This really messed up my brother, and he had a lot of behavioral issues all throughout his childhood and his teen years due to this, and only realized his true worth once he met his wife, and her dad accepted him and started treating him as a son, and that he could be loved and accepted for who he was. Wow. Took his wife's dad to, basically become his father. That we know of, he cheated on my mom with men from around 2008 to 2014, when they got divorced, including a long-term relationship with Alex during and after his time in Chicago. I have no problem with him being bi. My problem was the fact that he cheated on my mom when she thought that they were in a monogamous relationship and only wanted to be in that type of relationship. Is he going to play the homophobic card when she's like, you're a freaking cheater? And he's like, well, I just love men.
Well, I thought you would accept me.
Thought you'd be open-minded and progressive.
Yeah.
I am so confused by this story.
But you're not. This man sucks. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
that's all anyone needs to know.
Polly rights.
dude.
Continued to use dating apps even while him and my mom were in therapy. Oh my God.
Yeah, I actually see Henry's like 3 feet away. I gotta go to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, I gotta check this. Oh, I got a little video from Henry.
Rob, didn't you use the bathroom 3 minutes ago?
Sidebar: when I was in Mexico, one of my friends was on
That app.
that app. You know, like when you grind the coffee beans.
Oh yeah.
And a guy was like literally sent him a video of him giving head unprompted to show what the head experience would be like, and said, "Want some head,
Dude.
So just saying that this guy could have been like cheating in mass.
Yeah.
Like when you're on that app, man, it
Multiple times a day.
falling from the sky.
Just running up the numbers, baby.
It's like when you get those like giant bags of like hot dogs that you cook on the grill. Imagine that, but just throwing that entire bag every second. Just boom, boom, boom.
It's raining dogs.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
Remember Bali?
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't thought about him in a while.
There might be one person who will be able to decipher that.
Wow.
But anyways,
How is he?
Last time I talked, he's great. He's doing great.
that's good.
Yeah. Is he still abroad?
I don't know. Honestly, I'll hit him up right now. No.
That'd be
Yeah, we're thinking about you.
So,
Wow.
that's a great throwback. Yeah.
Man.
Anyways, I'm gonna get back to the story.
So many chapters.
Sam's gonna go down memory lane
Oh,
too
dude,
hard.
I am. I'm reminiscing.
He's gonna bring us too far off.
Oh, jeez.
So, even told the therapist that he did not understand why he couldn't have relations with others, especially men, since my mom was a woman. Hey, I'm not cheating on her. I'm not sleeping with other women. It's all good. After divorce, he moved in and then left 2 different women with the rent/mortgage on the houses that they had rent/bought together. This man just keeps getting better. He then tells us that he's engaged to a woman from the Philippines who is younger than both my sister and I. He's trying to get the worst father of all time bingo.
Golly.
He's doing well. He's doing
This
well
is
at
the
claiming
most
that title.
horniest man I've ever seen in the Reddit.
Bro is unstoppable. He's like, if you breathe, I want you. That's what Opie's dad said.
You.
We were all worried about this at first, as we got worried that she was only marrying him to get a green card. I actually had a chance to work with her for about a year in a place where my dad wasn't around to influence my opinion or hers. And she is a wonderful person, and I have nothing but respect for her, but I still refer to her as my dad's wife only because she's younger than me. It's giving 90 Day Fiance.
Yikes.
It's giving big head. The wife, the super young wife, did ask me once if the family hated her, and I told her that no one hated her. We had just been worried because of the age difference, but that I would make sure to let everyone know what she was really like when my dad wasn't around. It didn't occur to me until much later, which I will be up in the story around that time, that I finally realized it, that my dad could be telling her that we all hated her, because remember, he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Next point. Once remarried to Leah, continued using dating apps for flings. My man can't stop.
Why
won't
is
stop.
anyone marrying this guy? Why?
Even though he knows Leah does not like it when he does this, he even complains about the fact that Leah's jealousy is why he can't have any more male friends around. Oh my God.
Oh.
Also, I love how he's only with women to like get into serious relationships, like leave them with the house or like get married. And then he only gets with men in order to cheat on the women he's with.
I mean,
That's
there has
all he's
to be
done so far.
balance, you know? There has to be balance in the force. Men are for cheating on your wife with.
That's exactly
I
what
believe
Opie's
that's
dad
like
said.
Deuteronomy 3:27.
It's in Daderonomy.
Yeah.
He wrote his own book, and it's a bad one.
Daddy-eronomy.
Oh, God. Next point. He got upset and threatened to sue Grandma over the fact that he could not get into his storage containers on the family's property to get his boat and fishing equipment. Grandma, you are stealing my fish poles.
Man,
I need to fish. Bro, please take this to court.
So bad.
Please take this to court. Take this to court so we can bring up all the other insane stuff that you've done. Please, 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 please. On this day, he also, in the same day, went to Aunt Ruth's house and threatened her and her family because he could not get in there, and tried to kick one of their dogs, which greatly upset her autistic grandson. The next point, we're not even close to
What
being
a
done.
sentence.
OP, we are just getting, this is the preface, by the way. We're not even what he's doing today, okay? Next point. Got involved in not one, but 2 mail order bride scams, one in Michigan and one in Russia, while married to Leah, and lost a great deal of his money while doing so. Would not listen to anyone when we told him that they were scams. I love how he's openly like, hey, he's like married to Leah, and he's like going to his family like, hey, I'm just going to get this mail order bride. And it's like, 1, you are literally married, sir. 2, you're an idiot.
Oh.
Next point. Family started to receive messages on Facebook from people stating that dad was one of the last people seen in areas where their family members were disappearing, and they thought that he might be involved in some sort of trafficking group.
Ooh.
Dad said that this never happened, and that his DL?
Dear lady.
Down low?
Down.
Dear love?
Dear love?
What does DL mean, chat?
Dead
It might
lover.
be dear love. It might be dear love.
No, his DL was stolen.
Like his wife. I think that's what it is.
Down low.
I think it might be dear love. We've heard that.
For dear husband.
Down low. Okay. Anyways,
Dear love.
we're gonna go with dear love.
Driver's license.
Oh, driver's license.
Oh, okay.
Just spell it out, OP.
Yeah. No one knows. Yeah. Anyways.
Come on.
Dad said that this never happened and that his driver's license was stolen by someone shortly before this, but sometimes we still wonder whether that is true or not. Wow. Now we get to the worst parts of the story
Oh, that wasn't enough.
and the stuff from the last 3 years alone. We're ramping up to the
What?
present day. This is the old stuff.
What magnitude is this at? What are we about to get into?
Bro, we're breaking the Richter scale, my friend. We are going all the way in.
Oh God.
Oh, sorry. I'm just sorry. What's worse than like spicy sleep, traffic jam?
Spicy.
I actually don't wish I knew.
Like what?
I mean, there is stuff that's worse. Like
Junior.
murder.
Junior. Yeah.
But it's going to be bad.
Oh,
It's going to be
God.
bad.
Oh God.
So now, almost a year after everything had calmed down from the Facebook messages almost 3 years ago now, my brother received a call from a gas station attendant saying that dad had been in their store the night before in the middle of Missouri and had left his phone.
I thought it was gonna be like I heard your dad in our bathroom at the truck stop.
Him and Gary were really getting after it in there.
Yeah, your dad's been frequenting this local glory hole for years.
We keep telling him to stop, but he can't stop.
I haven't seen a gory hole in so long.
And they call him the drainer.
God.
That's what they say.
It's what they call
I
him.
guess I gotta keep going. I mean, drainer, terrible dad is here.
We're not talking about pipes, son.
Drainer
We're
dad.
talking about a man.
Drain your dad.
Your dad, your father. The attendant stated that he was talking to himself and acting very weird, and they were worried for his mental health. They contacted his wife, and she said that he was supposed to be in Omaha, the opposite direction from where his phone was left and where Snapchat last had him pinned, getting a hemorrhoid repaired. Bro.
I think you get one of your male friends to do that for you.
I mean, hey, when you're going,
I object. I object. I'm going to keep reading. The family was very concerned for him and wanted to issue a silver alert for him, like he's missing, but couldn't since our state didn't have this. Best we could do was issue a BOLO for his license since he seemed that he was in it. Family spent about 8 worries worried that something had happened to him before he finally contacted us and stated that he had lost his phone in Omaha and swore up and down that that was where he had been all alone and that he was now back home. Stated that a friend of his had driven to Omaha and back in his vehicle. The next day I got a call from a grocery store that both his wife and myself used to work at, where I got to know his wife, that he had been in the store and was acting weird, talking to himself and causing trouble and scaring other customers. Brother found him finally back at his apartment and got there at the same time as the cops, who had been called because he was trying to climb the building to get onto the balcony of his apartment since he had lost the key to the front door and the balcony door was unlocked.
I want to feel bad for him. But I'm like, I mean, karma, bro.
Dude,
Karma.
he had actually fallen trying to do this, hitting his head, shoulder, and hip in the process. So the cops told my brother to take him to the ER to get him checked out and call the leasing agent to get a new key for his apartment. My brother took him to the ER, where I met him with Aunt Ruth and one of her daughters to make sure he was okay, while brother went back to the apartment to get the key situation figured out. At the hospital, we advised the doctors while away from him that we were worried about dementia since it runs in the family and since he had been acting weird for the last few days.
He's been acting weird his whole life.
I mean, he's really, but like, I guess it's like so normalized for OP. They're like, she's like, oh, this is like a new level, like different types of crazy weird things. So doctors did x-ray and scans and also did a substance test due to concerns. And the fact that he couldn't answer even a single question the same way on more than one occasion and kept saying that something bad was going to happen to the friend who had taken him to Omaha and back because the friend had stolen his vehicle and he knew some very bad people and they were going to make him pay for taking the vehicle and not bringing it back. Bro's life is just... How can one person just be so... It's like Uncut Gems, where dude just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and you're like, oh no, it can't spiral further. It just keeps
But
going.
it does.
Spoiler alert.
But it freaking does. Sorry. That's the one movie I've ever seen.
That's with Adam Sandler, right?
That's with Adam Sandler.
Does Adam Sandler get worse and worse?
He does.
What?
He does.
But he's so funny.
So funny.
He gets worse and worse in the movie.
Wow.
Ooh.
And his movies get worse and worse.
He has some bad movies.
He has some bad movies.
But like, can you blame him? He's like one of the most well-paid actors. I think the most well-paid actor.
Terrible movies.
Imagine being an NBA player and you're shooting 20% of the field goal, but you're getting paid millions. Like, come on. Can't be mad.
I guess.
Or being an NBA player and being hurt all the time and getting paid like hundreds of millions.
I mean, like, can't he just have like? Can you just get good scripts? You know, like.
But that's his thing, man. He's just on
Just pick the good ones.
he's just on a bad team, and that's how he gets money.
Not a bad team. He owns the team.
Whoa.
You know what I own? This story.
Let's go.
When the doctor asked about substance use, he swore that he didn't do any substances, and if they found any in his system, that must have been because someone spiked his food or drink with it because he wouldn't willingly do it himself.
Dang. Don't you hate it when you always get your drink spiked?
It's
Like,
every
it's
day
the
of your
worst.
life. When we got the substance test back, surprise, surprise, he was on meth and X. Woo!
Dang.
Dude, great combo.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever heard of someone take both of that's
I guess like yeah. Why do both?
just to be the life of the party. So he was 64 years old at the time. Bro is just not quitting apparently,
You
and
got to keep that heart going.
apparently gotta have something to prop it up. And my brother was out of the house at 18 due to smoking the devil's lettuce.
Ooh, now we're seeing some hypocrisy.
Wow, some hickory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother. I love you.
Thanks, Sophia.
So while we were at the hospital, my brother got into the apartment and said that it smelled like pew pew. Like a pew pew had been fired recently. Oh my God. But there was no sign of violence and his friend was found alive. Oh my God.
What is going on?
So my brother removed all the pew pews and took them to his house. But while doing this, found used needles. Oh, substance test hadn't come back yet, and Dad swore that they were for his wife's diabetic usage. I doubt it. Dad's wife did come to the hospital finally. She was a flight attendant and had been finally able to get a flight home to be there with him. Once the test came back, we knew that he was relatively okay, but him and his wife left and went home. How is she still married to this guy? The next day, she called and said that she was trying to talk him into going to rehab, but he was resisting and didn't want to go until she flew back out because he wanted to spend time with her. She also said that he had told her that during the night that he had been using for a while, and she found many more needles from his use.
Oh.
She also said that he had finally admitted to being in St. Louis and that he had gone there to get a load of substances and bring them back home for a large gang, and that was who was going to hurt the guy that had driven him there and back. This actually caused me to lose sleep over the next, and I only got 3 to 4 hours of sleep in the next 48 hours because of it. He's going through this insane health crisis, going to the ER, climbing his building, trying to get in and falling. He's being chased by some freaking substance lords that are trying to push their product because someone's stolen it.
It's so much.
Like,
How do you cut this guy off?
how is this guy not in prison?
I mean, I think he's going to be soon.
Like very soon. But he's made it 64 years.
That's true.
He's made it 60. That's what's shocking to me. Like, how has he gotten away with it for this long?
Dude, he's just the GOAT. He's just the GOAT.
I mean, he might have a record for doing the most crimes without getting a convicted sentence.
Whew.
So I did advise the whole family of this because it had the potential of all of us, and both my grandma, female 89, and myself lived alone. You would think that this is the end. You would think that this was the end of the story. Maybe he goes to rehab.
No way.
And we're good.
No way. Too easy.
But it is not. That there's still so much more. So much more. We're not even halfway through this story, guys. We're literally not even at the 50% mark. Let me just super quickly pause. What do we do? What do you do? You're in OP shoes. What do you do? Answer in the comments, but I'm curious, Sam, for your thoughts.
I mean, you got to limit as much contact with this guy as possible and like try to get him out of your life because he is just a walking wrecking ball.
So I know we say like, you and I often say,
no contact.
Go low contact, right?
No
Chad
contact.
always flames us.
No contact.
This one, I think you just like restraining order. There just reaches a point. And literally like OP's basically saying like people might be in danger because of being knowing and being associated with
I mean, there must be. I feel like he's been pretty. I think he's done some illegal stuff, so there might be some ability to get him arrested.
Yeah. Honestly, get him arrested. It will be for his own good
and the good of everyone in the world.
Let me know what you guys think. Maybe that's extreme, but that's just this is an extreme guy, an extreme dad who needs to be drained of his freedoms. The family decided that after everything he had put us through in the last 5 to 10 years, this was the final straw, and that the family as a whole, was going to cut him off. I agreed to send a letter via both text and email to him, telling him that we loved him, that we could not have contact with him until he cleaned himself up and got help. It was also at this time that after talking to each other openly for the first time, that he had been turning us against each other for years. So now they're finally coming to the
realization
revelation
of all his manipulation.
Exactly. And gaslighting everyone into believing everything that he had said and not what others were saying. Classic narcissist. And that he needed to get help for that as well before we would be willing to have contact with him again. He didn't respond to this right away, but waited until 4 or 5 months later. When he finally did reply, it was to my siblings and myself, but it was not at all what we expected. He rambled on about how he had gotten clean without any help and that he didn't need any of us anymore, and then started going on and on about how everything that had ever gone wrong in his life was because of my Aunt Ruth, my mom, his father, and myself, and that he was better cutting ties with us because it only meant that his life would finally start to improve. So he pulled now I'm breaking up with you. He said, I'm breaking up with you.
I mean, that feels in character.
Bro.
What do you do? Like, usually
Let him break up with you.
Well, he usually cheats, and that's how he gets out. But, like, this is new.
Yeah, just let him break up with you. Just.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, man. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Yeah,
please.
Oh, God, stay.
Do that. This continued for a few months where he would be quiet for a while, but then would message us from a new phone number or social media account. We keep blocking him, but he kept finding ways around it. Then about a year ago, my grandpa, who had been in a care center due to advanced Alzheimer's, he was very combative and even threatened my grandma one night because he couldn't remember who she was. Became very ill with pneumonia due to all the meds that they had him on to keep him calm. He was very inactive and rarely got out of bed anymore. And the hospital he was taken to did not think that he would make it through the night. So my grandmother made the decision that we should contact him. Poll, contact or nah. His father is about to be lights out. Do we contact him or not? I say no.
No, why do you want to contact this guy?
I don't even think he would care. Like, I really don't think he would even care. But the poll is up. Let us know what you think.
No, do not contact him.
I would not contact. So my grandmother made the decision that we should contact him. We had left this up to her as the head of the family because while she still didn't want to see him, she did not want to deny him the right to be able to say goodbye to his father. He did come right away and was shown to my grandpa's room by my cousins and my brother. Dad is 5'8" and 200 pounds at most, when my brother and all my cousins were between 5'10" and 6'3" and weigh between 250 to 350 pounds. But
350 pounds?
But think linebackers. Like they're built like
350.
They're built, bro. Built.
That is like twice us. That is two of us.
That's so true. Dude, imagine having to go
us
1v1
together
with
is 350 pounds.
that. Dude, chat, could me and Sam take 350? I mean,
Come on, dude.
bro looks like a tank. I mean, like,
Dude, I don't know, man.
honestly, these pictures seem not so bad, but like, you know what's the craziest thing? Watching a football or basketball game and watching the players walk up to the refs.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that ref is literally like the shortest man
Look
I've
at
ever seen.
bro.
We knew this may have been a bit excessive, but we didn't know how he was going to act based on all the texts that he'd been sending threatening all of us. Grandpa did thankfully improve for a while, and we were able to get almost a year with him before he left us. After this, we started to give him a chance again. What did chat vote?
No.
3%, 14% said contact.
That's crazy.
14%, 17%.
No way.
K. Dud and Lindsay. What are you, Kirsten, what's going on?
Why?
After this, we started to give him a chance again, but kept him at a length and only had contact under our terms. Now, he was good for a few months and even got in to meet the grandson that was born after we had cut him off, who was almost 2 by this time. Although my brother did have a good father figure in his life now, he still wanted that acceptance and respect of his own father. Oh, man. However, this was short-lived, and within 6 months of letting him back in, he started sending long, rambling texts about how everyone was always against him and how everyone else but him was responsible for everything bad that had happened in his life, and the entire family cut him off again. Which brings us to the past late summer when Grandpa started to get sick again. We found out on a Thursday that he was not doing well and that they didn't think he was going to make it more than a few days. We contacted my sister on the West Coast, and she'd caught a plane home on Saturday at noon since she hadn't been home since Christmas. By the time we were able to get to the care home he was in on Saturday at 2, we were told that his passing was imminent and to call all family to come and say their goodbyes. So
Sayonara.
who we gonna?
Dude, you might have to call Ghostbusters. Man will haunt you. Man will haunt you. There's no way this guy dies and your problems go away. He's got
No,
skeletons in the closet.
This isn't dad. This is granddad.
Oh,
this is grandpa. Dad is still alive and well, brother.
Dang it.
Dad is still alive. He's like, dang it. Dad is still alive and
I
well.
thought our problems were gone.
Okay. Again, my grandma made decisions that we needed to contact Dad. So this time, however, Ruth made the call. She called him while we were on the drive there, and he had told her, I'm busy working now and may not be able to make it. To which she replied, make it or don't make it. That's your choice. It was my choice to advise you of what was happening, so you couldn't later say that no one had told you what was going on, and then ended the call. My siblings and I stayed till around 4:30 and then left because my nephews, male 4 and male 2, were starting to get feisty and hungry. Now, at around 5:30, an hour and a half later, we got a text from my cousin that my dad had been there and seen Grandpa and then left all within half an hour without saying goodbye to anyone before he left. About an hour after that, we got the news that Grandpa had passed away. Now, at the funeral, it had been originally decided by the pastor that there would be a time during both the visitation and the funeral where friends and family could come up and share stories with everyone about my grandpa.
My gosh.
No! Do not let that dad on the stage.
I had to do this with my grandpa that died, and it was called Spud Tales. Worst day of my life.
Oh, God.
He never saw me, and I was sick, and I had to like sit there for 2 hours talking about how great Spud was.
Was he great?
No, I mean, he gave me like a cool like little Jeep driving car, but that was it.
Oh, that's cool.
That is pretty lit.
Yeah. But he had 4 other wives. A lot of people had a lot to say that day.
I'm sure many of his wives.
Sounds like, yeah, maybe his wives.
But sorry, I just got PTSD from that. But yeah, don't let him up on stage.
Dude, don't let him do it. This all started out well at the visitation, and I actually learned some things from my grandpa that I had never known about my grandparents and their kindness and generosity. They were both wonderful, kind, generous, and amazing people who consider anyone who is friends with their kids, grandkids, and great grandkids as family. My dad, being who he is, decided to make up stories, which we were all later told by my grandma and aunts were flat out lies.
Oh God, what did he say?
We'll see if we get to know. This caused the pastor to cut the part of visitation short, and thus during the actual funeral the next day, we were instead asked to write down memories, which would be confirmed and approved, and then the pastor would read them off instead of us just getting up and speaking. Bro changed the whole funeral play out.
Oh.
This also caused no one in the family to speak to him at the funeral, and no one in the family has talked to or heard from him since. Sorry if that was a lot. It was a lot for us to process as well. Hope you all enjoy the spicy tea that is my family and have a great holiday season. And we have an update.
You're joking.
I am not even freaking joking. We still have like more than a quarter.
This guy
of the story
needs
left.
to just leave. He just needs to leave.
All right, real quick. Boys, chat,
Oh.
conspiracies. Write down in the chat, in the comments, what you think is about to happen. Sam, just give me something.
I think he's gonna steal someone's identity.
That's a good one. Do the thing that you accused someone else of doing.
Yeah.
Riley, you got anything for us?
I mean, seeing this pattern, weapon. I think honestly, I feel like the lords or the people he owes money to are gonna find him, and that's gonna be a whole debacle.
Oh, I mean, he has a lot of enemies.
Dude, so many enemies.
In a lot of countries.
including his own dad. My conspiracy theory is he is going to finally get jammed up. He's going to go to court. OP's going to learn of all of the things he's done, and then he's going to prison.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah. I wonder if he has any money that maybe OP could sue for, drain his dad of his cash.
Her dad
Makes
makes it way worse.
Or he tries to make a business out of, doing what he does best, and he goes to the like Google domain to get it. Can't.
Yeah, right.
We have officially screwed him over.
Bro, I had literally forgotten that he had run around on his wives always cheating on other dudes.
Yeah,
I
dude.
literally forgot.
I mean, there's a lot that he's done. He has a long list of
He's lived a
accomplishments.
full life.
He's lived a life that will be remembered, at the very least.
Definitely by us at the bare minimum. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one way to find out what actually happened, and that is to read the
that
update.
story.
Let's freaking
Spill
see.
that
Tea. Hold on to your potatoes and grab your tea, because just as I thought things couldn't get any crazier, and not just crazy, but completely freaking insane.
Oh.
I have said what the actual F more in the last 3 days than probably any other time in my life. And again, OP has lived her whole life with OP as a father. Again, this is going to be really long because there is a lot that happened between that time and now. If you're reading this first, you should probably go back and read the previous post first to get a ton of context, because it'll all be relevant. So December started out really rough for my family, as my grandfather, my mom's dad, this time passed away after a 2-week struggle with a congestive heart failure. He was 97 years old, and he had a valve replacement about 10 years ago, and it had started to fail again. So he was filling with fluid and struggling to breathe. He was in the hospital twice between Thanksgiving and the first week of December due to this. He did have an end of life plan in place and refused all but comfort care. This was his choice, and he was very vocal in the last year that he was ready to leave this life. He did not want to self-harm. He just missed our grandma, who had passed away 3 years ago, and would say that if he got sick again, he would rather just go peacefully than keep fighting it. This did hurt, but we all understood. Shortly after he passed away, our father contacted my brother to ask him for a favor, but didn't even mention my grandfather or offer any condolences for losing him in the same year that we lost our other grandfather. Because remember, this isn't his dad that passed away this time. My brother made the decision to ignore him, as this was the first time we had even heard from him since our other grandma passed away back in August. We held the services for our grandpa on December 21st, the day after my sister got home for Christmas holiday. And it was a beautiful ceremony in which my grandpa was granted full military honors, since my grandpa had served in the Navy during the Korean War. My dad never reached out to my sister or I, or attempted to contact my brother again about our loss. Christmas was great, and we really enjoyed catching up with both sides of the family and watching our nephews go crazy over all the gifts. They both got new toy semi-trucks. Their dad, my brother, is a truck driver, and they are both truck crazy. That's adorable. Toy remote control monster trucks, and we're super excited to play with them. On December 26th, there was a story on the news that something had happened at our dad's apartment complex.
Oh, no.
What could it be? Oh, God. And a couple of people saw it and wondered if it had anything to do with our dad, but then wrote it off because him and his wife didn't contact us that there was anything to worry about. On New Year's Eve, I ended up in the ER due to severe back pain from 2 bulged discs that I have in my lower back. I am currently on medical leave from work because of this and lifting restrictions that my doctor had in place for me. This all started around last year this time. I'm only including it in this post as stress makes my muscles tense, which in simple terms makes the pain worse. I got some muscle relaxers and pain meds and was sent home feeling a little better at least then. On January 3rd, around 6:20 p.m.
That, literally just happened. January 3rd.
That's true.
I was sitting on my couch, eating leftovers and watching TV when I get a call from my cousin. She's audibly upset and asks if I've seen the news. I say, no, I don't watch the news. It only makes me angry. She then tells me that my grandma was watching the 6 o'clock news and there was a story that my worm donor, my seed donor, that my seed donor was arrested for second degree.
We were right.
What?
Did I not call that earlier?
You did.
Riley was like, how could it get worse? This is how it gets worse.
That's true.
See, he would be remembered. He would be remembered.
Wow.
Second
degree. That's almost as bad as first.
Mm-hmm. What's second degree mean?
I'm looking it up right now.
It's not premeditated, I guess.
First degree, considered the most serious, involves premeditating and intentional.
Yep.
Second degree involves intentional unaliving without premeditation. And third degree is less serious form, often reckless behavior that causes.
So that's like manslaughter.
Yeah. So it's intentional, but it wasn't like you thought it through.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm going to do this for fun.
If there's one thing we've learned, this man does not think things through, ladies and gentlemen.
So is second degree what's
it's like you get in a fight and then the other person actually passes.
No, that's third degree.
That's reckless. Intentional is like
I actually want.
Yeah, I'm gonna like a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Like you hit my car, so I stab you.
Right. Ouch.
With intent to unalive.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about doing it beforehand.
Oh boy.
But like beforehand, it's like I know where you live. I know that you wake up near 6:30 a.m. every morning. So before that, I'm gonna wake up at 6:15 and then plan something, and then you're done.
Because I think like the government's like, all right, like everyone gets a little kooky every once in a while, but to like think about it for a long time, like that's not as chill.
I guess not.
Heat of the moment. MR says.
OP says, turns out that the story from December 26th, remember that one, guys, was about him and that he had accidentally pew-pewed someone after they got in an argument.
That's whenever they smelt the powder. The pew-pew powder in the apartment.
I think that's right. The news report stated that they had met on a dating app and had gotten together for giggity and party favors, and some type of argument happened. My seed donor of a father told the police that it was an accident. It was an accident, bro.
It's fine.
And that he didn't realize that the pew-pew was loaded or that the safety was off.
Oh my gosh.
Simple mistake. Yeah, why were you holding it, pointing it, and pulling it?
That's why it was second degree, because it was intentional.
Yeah. Most
Because if they thought it wasn't intentional, then they would have put it at third degree.
Yeah.
And that is law for you.
That's like me being like, hey, someone's like, the judge says to me, hey, why did you spank Riley's cheeks red? I'm like, I didn't know that the paddle would hurt
do that
and make a cheek red.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You don't know until you try.
Oops.
You don't know. It's called science.
Called
Science. Called an experiment. Hypothesis. This won't make Riley's cheeks red.
That's right.
Test. Results. It did.
You guys are getting a taste of what it's like outside of the podcast room.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Riley, you've been a good boy. 3 spankings for you.
Oh, God. You're being generous today.
Please, no, sir.
Launching from the makers of DrainYourDaddy.com comes SpankYourDaddy.com. A whole new experience for all you daddies out there.
SpankYourProducer.com. Isn't available.
That one's got to be expensive for taking. Anyways.
Spank Your Producer?
Come on.
Oh, no, that one's there. I thought you were saying spank your daddy.
Oh, Spank Your Daddy.
My grandma was so upset not only that at this, but that she had to find out about it on the news. My Aunt Ruth, 65 female, and her husband brought dinner over to my grandma and stayed with her until she went to bed. The next day, yesterday, we all gathered at my grandma's to show support and remind her that nothing he does is her fault. He is an adult, 67, and he alone is responsible for his own actions, and there is nothing different that she could have done to change him. We were also sharing some stories about how we had all experienced his violent temper in the past. I have more than one story about stupid little things that he lost his temper on me about, but that would be an entire post in and of itself. Anyways, during this time, my grandma and aunts brought up a time that he came to my grandparents' house and my aunts were there. He pulled out a pew-pew, forced one of his sisters to hold it to his head, and told them that if they were all going to continue to fight with my mom, they should just go ahead and pull the trigger and save him all the drama and fights.
Wow.
Mind you,
That's one solution.
as per the previous post, that he was the one stirring up all the drama. Right. He's like, yeah, if you're going to keep up his drama, you might as well just knock me down now. Meanwhile, he was the one that was doing all of it, that he was the one stirring up all the drama by lying and manipulating all of them into hating each other in the first place. This was the first time I had heard this story, and it was super scary to hear it even years later. By the way, one thing that will never scare you, that you'll feel safe, comforted, and good to go at all times, and it's not Drain Your Daddy or SpankYourDaddy.com, is our podcast. We have full audio episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, go to your favorite podcast app, search OK Storytime, and listen to episodes to your heart's content.
Mm-hmm.
It's chock full of stories like this one, unfortunately. Some of them, but this one, honestly, this is might be a top 10er, guys, because this is
a gauntlet of a
crazy.
Yeah, this is a gauntlet.
Sam, I regretfully inform you there is more to this story. While we were talking about everything that had happened, because remember, Dad pew-pewed somebody, don't forget. And what we knew about the situation, I mentioned that my brother had received a message from our dad's wife that she was upset about a message that my cousin had put on Facebook about being stressed the night before. Nothing in the message even suggested that it had anything to do with my dad's situation. And in the comments, my cousin even says that it's due to stuff that is going on the other side of the family. Her dad's sister passed away last year, and my cousin is the executor of her estate, and the family is fighting over some things. But our dad's wife, Leah, 34 female, also stated that she was upset that we had cut him off, and that if we hadn't, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Leah, you lost us. You lost us, Leah. That's not it. She says that we don't know the full story and shouldn't be putting anything on social media about it.
Oh, come on. We know enough of the story. How is this not the full? I don't want to know the full story.
We know what happened. And we shouldn't be posting anything about it on social media when we don't know what we're talking about. Keep in mind, he has cheated on her multiple times, including with the guy involved in this situation.
Oh, my God.
The guy he pew-pewed in more ways than one. But she is still supporting him and is upset with us for not doing the same. Also, no one has said anything on social media about this specific situation. I do partially understand that her supporting him is part of her culture. She's Filipino and doesn't believe in divorce or cutting family off in any situation. But it worries us that she may not be seeing the full picture or maybe being gaslighted by him. So my question is, would I be the a-hole if I contacted her family on Facebook, they're back in the Philippines, and advised them of everything he has done over the years and what is currently going on so that they can try and talk to her about leaving him? That is the end of the story, and we will close this insane journey by answering the question, would OP indeed be the a-hole if she told her family back home about it, kind of exposing the husband to try and get the family to pressure her to divorce him.
Exposing the husband?
Basically, maybe expose is not the right word, but she wants to tell the family so that way they will be like, hey, why are you married to him? Divorce him immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
leave him immediately.
I doubt that he's, we want to believe people can change.
Sam.
But in this case, I really don't think we have enough to believe it. There hasn't been enough time. I think this man is a walking grenade and has been unpinned and is just waiting to explode in the hands of this poor family.
He's been exploded in many hands before.
He's been exploded in every. He's been. Your daddy has been drained in the hands of every person that he's been with before. Yeah. We need to put a stop to this madness.
We need to clog that drain.
Clog that drain.
Did we answer would OP be the a-hole if she did that though? If
no.
she told the family. No?
No. This is like the family needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. When you're married to a guy who does that.
If you make it on the news, anything about your personal life should be exposed.
That's true. It's already publicly available information.
Like, you're in jail. What are you going to do if it's out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out?
I was going to say, like, to play devil's advocate, you could say, like, you're just involving yourself more and just, like, step away from it completely. But she would be saving this woman by doing that.
Yeah.
So I say, let's do God's work. Let's do God's work and tell the family. But that is it.
Oh my goodness.
That is all. There is no more as of yet. We don't know if we're going to get an update or something.
Wow. We are many updates deep, but luckily
We're deep as a daddy.
we're deep as a daddy. But don't forget to spank your daddies. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
spank
see you tomorrow.